Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bock Talks, where we talk about things that are important in the areas of leadership, communication, and accountability. Be it, say it, own it. Be it is leadership, say it is communication, and own it is accountability. And that word accountability doesn't always resonate really well with people at first, because it always seems to feel like something we want to hide from instead of own, step into. And I know that comes from a lot of, I suppose, a lot of history and a lot of um, experience, maybe, in being afraid or thinking you're going to get into trouble or thinking you're not going to connect with other people when you're being authentic. Or maybe I'm just telling you my story, because that has been my story. I think today I'm calling this talk I Am Blank, because if we're not willing to own what we know ourselves to be, then we're at best being inauthentic about our lives. So I'm doing this talk at an event, and the talk is called I Am a Hypocrite. And the funny thing is, nobody told me that that was going to be the topic or the title. I picked it. So for whatever reason, I decided that I'm going to stand up in front of a group of people and talk about that topic. And I've been struggling with it because, wow, that's kind of heavy. So I just wanted to share some of my ideas as I'm working through this whole concept of I am a hypocrite, because it's true. I mean, I think if anybody out there is honest with themselves, we've all probably said one thing and done another. I know what I should do if I want to lose weight. I need to eat healthy and exercise. Duh. But I don't always do it. I say this is what I should do, but I don't always do it. And so over the course of I suppose my whole life, I've been working through this. I am blank. What am I? And hi, everybody who's joining me on Facebook. This is awesome. It's an awakening, I think. And so I'm just going to be sharing my journey. It doesn't mean it's anybody else's journey or that anybody needs to or should or has to do anything with this. I'm just going to tell a little bit about what's gotten me here. So here's how I've gotten here. I think at some point, if you think about integrity and you think about structural integrity, not moral integrity, so just structural integrity. So let's just talk about a bridge. A bridge is built and it has structural integrity if the pieces fit together, right? So like there was a bridge in Minneapolis a few years ago that over time, the structural integrity wore down and this bridge fell, and it's a huge bridge. And people were, I think people were even killed, if not hurt, in this bridge falling. I mean, it could be that big as a bridge falling. It could be a bicycle wheel. If you have a bicycle wheel and it has the spokes and everything's good and all the spokes are in place, it works. And one spoke can fall out and it doesn't really affect the wheel right away. But over time, without that one spoke, the structural integrity of the bicycle wheel becomes compromised and eventually it won't work. Well, it's the same for us. I'll speak for me because it's my story here. If you can relate, great. If not, it's just an opportunity for me to work through my own stuff in public because you're being an audience for me. Thank you again, those people who are joining us. I appreciate having somebody to talk to. This is great. So here's what I'm learning about this comment or this statement, I am. If I'm not on purpose about what I say or even think after that statement, then I'm at the mercy of whatever engine is running me and has been running me my whole life. So for me, as I am in this journey about becoming, because I'm never going to get there, wherever there is, I'm always becoming, I'm always learning, I'm always growing. It's just who I am. I think before I became aware, I had a little voice in my head that was telling me things like, I am not good enough. I am not as smart as, or I am not as good an athlete as, or whatever that comparison engine does, where it says, I am not blank. I am not good enough. I am not smart enough. So that became a mantra that was going through my head all the time without me even realizing it. And so when I believed that somebody else had the answer and I didn't have the answer, of course that became reinforced. I'm not good enough. And it's so funny to be aware of that now and to know that I was allowing that to run my life. And I'll tell you what I learned, and continue to learn, but I learned in a class that I took in 2003. I learned that I have an act running me if I'm not aware of it. And even if I am aware of it, the act is still running me, but now at least I'm aware of it. And that act for me is a little voice that says, they won't let me. Whoever they are, they won't let me. And it's so funny because everywhere I've turned my whole life, if that's the act that's running me, there's always another they. It's so weird. And I was getting really good at blaming them, whoever they are, for not letting me do whatever I thought I needed to do. Speak out in a meeting, travel somewhere, they being, bankers, maybe they won't let me because I don't have enough money. And then I could look all over the place and find people who I maybe didn't even know, who I'd blame for not letting me be the me I knew myself to be. And so I have been a hypocrite. I have been someone who, as a coach, consultant, trainer, I've told you, and I'm going to use the royal you because it's anybody who's listening, I've told you what you could do to be successful in your own life. I'm great at it. I read all the time. I have thousands, probably, well, hundreds for sure, of books that I've read and studied because I've been so worried that you wouldn't see me or accept me or like me as the me I know myself to be. So I would read books, I would gain information in form that I would be able to regurgitate to you because I really do believe it's important. I do believe all the things I've been saying, but I haven't always done them. And I didn't realize this until things started dawning on me. And it's episodes or circumstances or, people saying things that all of a sudden seemed to start dawning on me. And I love that Steve Jobs says you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backward. So as I connect the dots looking backward, I see all these, like I said, episodes, comments, whatever, working to wake me up. And I can point to several of them. In fact, there are people on this call who are this, not this call, but this Facebook Live. I'm doing this on Facebook Live for those of you who will be hearing it later on a podcast. And there are people here who are helping me along with that journey. I appreciate those of you who are here because you are the people that are helping me wake up. And as I wake up, it's my story. It has nothing to do with you, which is interesting because as a coach, speaker, trainer, author, I used to think it was my job to teach you how to live your life fully. Well, I wasn't doing it myself. Isn't that interesting? So I am a hypocrite. And what I didn't know, and I'm still working on, is that you were doing the same things. You were worried what I thought about you. You don't have time to worry about me because you're thinking I'm doing the same thing to you. And it's such a funny game we all play because we're all doing the same things. As I judge you, you're judging me, and we're all in the same space instead of just saying, this is who I am. This is who I am. I don't, and it's not to be a jerk about it and to say, you're bad, you're wrong if you're not like me or you don't think like me. That's not it at all. In fact, it's about owning my point of view, my perspective, my history, my experience, my wisdom, so that I can just be it instead of always do it. Now, I'm a former All-American basketball player, woo-woo, and I was a doer, right? I achieved goals. I forgot that I was like a big dinosaur going through my life, achieving goals and wiping people out with my big tail behind me. I didn't realize I was doing that. because I was just so worried about what you thought about me. I was so worried about doing the right thing, saying the right thing, wearing the right thing. And it's just funny to think about it now that I got really good at faking that. Really good. In fact, some of you listening right now might never know that's what was going on underneath. It's like, I think I was like the duck going across a pond where it's nice and smooth across the pond, but underneath that duck's paddling like mad crazy. That's what I've been doing, but I didn't realize it. I mean, I've done the best I've known how to do. It's not like I'm being a jerk on purpose. I've just been slogging away myself, looking for connection, looking for community, looking for acceptance and appreciation and validation for who I be. And it's so funny because as I become more aware of becoming conscious, I guess, the steps that I'm going through, you're probably going through yourselves. We look for connection because we're human. And we either look for connection to find out what's wrong so we can, I have a friend who calls it sport bitching, so we can sport bitch about it, bitching for the sport of it. Or in some cases, we want to connect with what's right so that we can continue to grow and learn. And I know that when we're looking for connection, we tend to commiserate sometimes, right? We commiserate with people who are looking at life the same way we are. Sometimes we collaborate with people who can look at the same issue with us across the table, not from the same side, but across the table, so that we can give different perspectives and be open to different perspectives. That's not always comfortable. It's way more comfortable to have somebody say, I know he's a jerk. I agree with you. You're great. He's stupid. Because I've done that. And yet, how does that elevate all of us if we all think the same way? And so I'm learning that it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to be able to share that opinion and to not expect that everybody in the whole wide world will have the same perspective. Because how fun would that be in the world? And what troubles me, the word isn't really troubles me, but what is occurring to me is that we become more vocal when we feel anonymous or if we feel separated from people. We become more vocal if we can hide behind a screen or a phone or a letter to the editor. And even if we put our names on it, and even if we say, hey, this is me, we're not connected in person with somebody, so they can't judge us to our face. It's pretty hard to hate somebody close up. And so what I'm learning, and I can, again, looking back on certain milestones in my life, I had a milestone that happened in October. I had one that happened in April of 2016. And all of these like awakenings for me have caused me to be on a new path, a broader path maybe, a deeper path. And I just want to be able to share that. I want to be able to be who I'm being and not worry so much about who's going to care. Are they going to let me? Is a client going to hire me if they know I'm a hypocrite? I don't even want clients to hire me if they don't know I'm a hypocrite, because I'd be faking it. I faked it for way too long. I faked it because I thought I needed things. I thought I needed to make money and find the right person or find the right opportunity. It's just too hard, everybody, to continue this charade that is what you think people want you to be. We're all doing it. I think we're all doing it. And you know what? If we're not willing or able to own that we're all doing it, that's okay too. I'm just on this journey where I want to connect with collaborators and not commiserators anymore. I won't, I hesitate to say I won't judge that, because you know what? I might. I, after all, have been a hypocrite, and that road has been pretty well traveled. And I'm at the point now where instead of judging things, I want to observe them. I want to be aware of them. I want to have conversations about things that matter. I want to be curious. I want to go first. I don't need to wait for somebody else to give me permission, because the act that's been running me, they won't let me. I think I'm over that. I think I'm getting beyond that. And it's been a journey. It's still a journey. It'll always be a journey. And the beauty of that is I get new awareness the further I go along the journey. And I don't have to exist in the same space today that I'll be in, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years. I'll grow as long as I have an open mind and as long as I'm open to possibilities instead of closed to probabilities. Boy, I don't know who I'll be in 6 months. I want to work with people and collaborate with people who are on that journey to becoming conscious and becoming awake and becoming aware. And so for me, that just means that I want to be willing to share who I am. I am a hypocrite. Okay. I don't like that so much anymore because I am now looking at the world through the lens of love. There are only two ways, love or fear. I've chosen fear far too often, far too long. I choose love. If I look at the world through the eyes of love, everything looks completely different and the outcomes will be different. So I see somebody saying on here, Brenda, let's co-elaborate. I love that. Let's co-elaborate. Elaborate, to make more, to uncover. I love that. So I look forward to that opportunity in 2019. Let's have more conversations. Tune in to Bock Talks. Every Tuesday morning on the podcast, we'll be releasing new podcasts. And every Monday, except today, we'll be putting Facebook Lives out on Bock Talks. So you'll be able to see it like this. You'll be able to interact as well. So I look forward to being in the space with you. And thank you so much for tuning in, whether on Facebook Live or in podcast land. Go be awesome this week. Talk to you soon.